السلام عليكم ورحمة الله. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على أشرف المرسلين نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. We'll continue inshallah ta'ala with Surah At-Taghabun and with verses number 3 and 4. Verses number 3 and 4. And we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us benefit of what we heard, what we hear. And these verses, especially in the beginning of such surahs, we have to carry their meanings with us till the end of the surah. So it's like when you establish a foundation and then later on you build on it, you cannot detach it from the foundation. It's all attached to the foundation. And therefore, if someone, for example, question the wisdom of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, for example, in a command from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He would order the believers to do. If people would say, I'm not sure if this is something that is going to bring benefit or not, that person does not know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with His names and attributes. Because if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if a person knows Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with His names and attributes, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala would never command the people to do something that is of nonsense or something that will bring, harm to them. But we need to redefine what's harm and what's not. Every command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala fits perfectly the purpose of our creation. And people, when they have the weakness in their submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it's because the tawheed of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is not well established in their hearts. Because the Quran is messages from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the creator of the heavens and earth. So the reason why I'm saying this is because yesterday we took the first two verses of the surah, that everything makes tasbih to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala belong to Him al-mulk, the kingdom, the sovereignty, the dominion of the heavens and the earth. And to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is al-hamd, the perfect praise, and He's able to do all things. So what then necessitates things afterwards? This is what we need to build on this. He's the one that created you from kafir. Now, third and the fourth verse, more of the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that is well established in the hearts of the believers. Verse number 3. Repeat after me, inshallah. خلق السماوات والأرض بالحق وصوركم فأحسن صوركم وإليه المصير. يعلم ما في السماوات والأرض ويعلم ما تسرون وما تعلنون. والله عليم بذات الصدور. So here خلق السماوات والأرض بالحق وصوركم. وصوركم, without being extreme in saying it, but in reality the waw is light and the sad and the ra before and after are heavy. And the waw also light. Wa light, sa heavy, wa light, ra heavy. وصوّى, not وصوّى. وصوركم, but then you have to be careful because the ra after it is heavy. وصوركم فأحسن صوركم وإليه المصير. يعلم ما في السماوات والأرض ويعلم ما تسرون وما تعلنون. والله عليم بذات الصدور. عليم, tanween after it back has a clap, the meme sound. إخفاء. And then بذات الصدور, صاد heavy, and then dal is light. Translation: He knows what is within the heavens and the earth, and knows what you conceal and what you declare, and Allah is knowing of that within the breasts. Has there not come to you, the previous verse, He created the heavens and the earth in truth and formed you and perfected your forms, and to Him is the final destination. He knows what is within the heavens and earth, and knows what you conceal and what you declare. And Allah is knowing of that within the breasts, meaning within the hearts. So, خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the heavens and the earth. After the mention of the creation of the human beings, that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created the human beings and entrusted him with things to be done and things that he's forbidden from doing. Then after that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned the rest of the creation of Allah. خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. He created the heavens and the earth. All of it. بِالْحَقِّ. بِالْحَقِّ, which means by the truth. And by the truth means that He created them by the truth. He created them for a reason, for an objective. There's a wisdom behind it. That's what bil-haqq means. Not created for play or for nonsense, as the actions of the disbelievers states then, as if they are created for nothing. That's why they eat and drink like the cattle. Even the cattle, they know the purpose of their life. So if a disbeliever lives his life without a purpose, he doesn't know why he's created for. He just lives his life to work, to make money, to eat and drink, and then that's it. And that's against the fact that the creator of the heavens and earth is the most wise. So خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ بِالْحَقِّ, by the truth. وَصَوَّرَكُمْ فَأَحْسَنَ صُوَرَكُمْ. And He صَوَّرَكُمْ fashioned you, formed you. فَأَحْسَنَ صُوَرَكُمْ. He perfected you, perfected your forms, perfected it to fit the purpose of the creation of the heavens and the earth. So, وَصَوَّرَكُمْ فَأَحْسَنَ صُوَرَكُمْ, created us in the perfect way that would make us fulfill the objective of our life. He did not create us from gold or silver, or He created us from flesh and blood for a reason. And He created us and created our souls and established in us and the fitrah, the pure nature that He created us with, to be able to differentiate between the haqq, the truth, and falsehood. And this is the most powerful thing that a human being has, if they go back to their pure nature. If they remove arrogance, there are things that can distract them from really seeing the truth from falsehood. So they need to go back to their pure nature to see the truth versus the falsehood. So وَصَوَّرَكُمْ فَأَحْسَنَ صُوَرَكُمْ, as Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, لَقَدْ خَلَقْنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي أَحْسَنِ تَقْوِيمٍ. We created mankind in the best form. And that's when everything is created for the human being, and He created him in such a way to be able to establish the purpose of his life. وَإِلَيْهِ الْمَصِيرُ, and to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the masir, the end, the destination. Everybody shall return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they would return to Allah and they will be rewarded or recompensed according to their actions. And He would ask them about the favors that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bestowed upon them, whether they were grateful to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala or not. And then after that, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned His ilm, His knowledge that encompasses everything. You see how السماوات والأرض is mentioned again, the heavens and the earth. يَعْلَمُ مَا فِي السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضِ. He knows what's in the heavens and what's in the earth, whether it's something concealed, something openly done, hidden matters, non-hidden, everything is known to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's no difference. Human beings, they only see what they see with their own eyes. They don't see even what's in the hearts of others. Many times they don't even see what evil that they have within. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala sees what is physical and what's not physical. وَيَعْلَمُ مَا تُسِرُّونَ وَمَا تُعْلِنُونَ, and He knows what you conceal and what you openly do. Allahu alimun bidhati as-sudur, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is alim, the all-knower of what's in your heart. And as-sudur is the breasts, and the heart is within the breasts. So know your secrets, your your intentions, whether it's good intentions or evil intentions, your evil objectives, your good objectives. So therefore, all of these things, every single attribute here requires for the person to do something. If this is the way of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, this is the attributes of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, so therefore the person should be act accordingly. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is the most high. خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ بِالْحَقِّ. He created the heavens and the earth by the haqq, by the truth. And that truth is mentioned in the previous verse. هُوَ الَّذِي خَلَقَكُمْ فَمِنْكُمْ كَافِرٌ وَمِنْكُمْ مُؤْمِنٌ. He's the one that created you from. So therefore among you is disbelievers and among you are believers. And also it refers to the hereafter in an indirect way. وَصَوَّرَكُمْ فَأَحْسَنَ صُوَرَكُمْ. These things needs for us to reflect upon and to think of what that comes by necessity then. So when you look at the verses that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, He created the heavens and the earth by the truth, that means your actions, your speech should be accordingly. And as we said, when a person live his life as if he's created just to eat and drink and that's it. So where is that truth that we've been created for? If a person wants to fulfill that meaning, then he should worship Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala according to what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded. That means you're establishing the purpose of your creation. And to witness how Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala perfectly created us in such a way to be able to worship Him with our hearts, with our physical actions. And the hereafter, وَإِلَيْهِ الْمَصِيرُ, to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, everything shall return. If we believe in the knowledge of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that encompasses everything, so how can a person think that he knows what's good for him away from the revelation from Allah? If Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala commanded you to establish the salah, to give the zakat, to observe the hijab, halal, haram, Allah knows best. And the human beings, we do not know anything. Anything that we know is from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And He knows what we conceal and what we openly do and say. So all that, it brings actions by necessity. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows what is concealed in the hearts. So that means a person should be watchful of what they do and to make sure to act and to purify our secrets and our hearts. And really, if a person works and focuses on what's in the hearts, everything else falls in place. Everything falls in place. As long as the hearts are pure and seeking the pleasure of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alone. As we see the verses, khalaqa means He created it in the past tense. As-samawati, the heavens, from sin mim waw, wal ard, and the earth, bil haqq, with the truth. وَصَوَّرَكُمْ, and formed you from صاد واو را. And a suwar, images, use the same word, right? And what's fashioned, something that you would see clearly. في أي صورة ما شاء ركبك. He created us in such a perfect image for the perfect job that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala entrusted the human beings for. فَأَحْسَنَ, and made good. فَأَحْسَنَ صُوَرَكُمْ. He perfected your forms. Even when someone is born with defects and things like this, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala perfected every human being to fulfill the purpose of their life, what they're created for. وَإِلَيْهِ, and to Him, al-masir, is the final return, from صاد ياء را. The origin or the root of that word comes from they use it for the doors. Like you have the hinges. The hinges has its what you call it, the range of movement. So it's the return of the hinge. If you open the door and then you close the door, like this is Sayr al-bab. This is the range of the door. That means that it has to end to it. The range of it. So ilayhi al-masir, everything shall return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. You know, when you think of the door, when it opens, right, it has to return. When it returns back to how the hinges. So everything from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So therefore everything shall return to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Because He's the one that created everything. So everything shall return to Him. Ilayhi al-masir. Something that never escapes the hearts of the believers. يعلم from علم, he knows ما في السماوات, what's in the heavens and what's in the earth. ويعلم, and he knows how many times it's repeated. ويعلم ما تسرون. تسرون from sin ra, السر, secrets, what you conceal. وما تعلنون, and what you declare or you make public. الإعلان, علانية, is the opposite of the sir or the secrets. Wallahu, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala alimun. So alim here, the all-knowing. Before ya'lam, the verb constantly happening. Alimun, and a noun, that means it's well established, it's the most perfect at all times, never challenged. Bidat is sudur, of what is in the sudur, and the sadr is the breast. And Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri. And the heart is in there. So this gives the more spaciousness of things, that everything is by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us benefit of what we heard, and to make us have the proper understanding of things. And this is how the deen is established in the hearts of the believers. Like, for example, a brother asked me yesterday about a wife, maybe a Muslim or so, but she doesn't, still the iman is not well established in the heart. So, for example, she doesn't wear hijab. Things should be done in a gradual way. And she thinks that, one wudu a day is sufficient, because of, it's difficult, or maybe there's makeup or whatever. The reason why this is happening is that al-iman, or faith, is not yet established in the heart. If the faith is established in the heart, all of these things becomes the easiest thing whatsoever to a believer. The full submission to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So instead of focusing on the action, we need to make sure that we purify the source for the actions to be easy. And that is the establishment of the iman in the heart. To know Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with His names and attributes. And to humble ourselves as human beings, that we were nothing, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala created us from nothing, and He's the one that knows best what is best for us. And to understand the meaning of La ilaha illallah, and so on and so forth. So that's why these verses are so important. And it's not sufficient for a person to say, I know that Allah is the creator of the heavens and the earth. I know that Allah is the unknower. It is not sufficient to say, I know. We need to have it established, well established in our hearts. That you have that presence of it in the heart. Because if it's present in the heart, that means then be obedient to Allah. And you would find the obedience of Allah is so easy, and to see the ways of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala on earth. And that keeps the person patient, and that steadfastness on the deen of Allah. We'll stop here, inshallah. Sallallahu alaihi wa sallam, baraka Muhammad wa sahbihi wa sallam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.